Okay, here we will discuss here Lewis model of development in an economy with surplus lever. Now, actually what is Lewis model? Many times question asks from Lewis model of development. So, exactly what is the Lewis model of development? Actually, A. Lewis developed a very systematic theory of economic development with unlimited lever supply or unlimited surplus of lever. It explains the growth of a developing economy. It explains the growth of economic development in terms of lever transition, in terms of lever transitions. Lever transitions from subsistence sectors, from subsistence sector to industrial sector, because these subsistence sectors basically there is a surplus labor with large number of disguised unemployment. There are some assumptions we need to follow here for this model. So, what are the assumptions? What are the assumptions of the model? Before discussing the model, we need to focus on some assumptions which will help us to discuss the model properly. First, two sector dual economy. It is a two sector dual economy. Two sector dual economy. What are the two sector dual economy? Agriculture, which is a primitive agriculture sector. Agriculture is a primitive sectors with disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment. Since there is a surplus labor, that is why there is a disguised unemployment is there. And industry sector is a modern sector. This is the first assumptions we take. Second is huge surplus of labor. Huge surplus of labor. Huge surplus of labor in where? Surplus of labor in agriculture sector. In agriculture sector. And this agriculture sector is a subsistence sector, as because these sector just give the subsistence level of wages to worker. And wages in industrial sector, wages in industrial sector, wages in industrial sectors are higher than industrial sectors are higher than subsistence sector, higher than the subsistence sector, higher than the subsistence sector, subsistence sectors, and wage rate remain constant in industrial sector. In industrial sector. These are the most important assumptions that we take. Now we can proceed to understand the model, Lewis model of unlimited supply of labor. Now one thing here, when the wages of subsistence, here we can see from this figure that OS is the subsistence wage rate, OW is a industrial wage rate. This industrial wage rate is higher than subsistence wage rate. But one thing we must keep in our brain, the marginal productivity of labor in industrial sector is higher than wage rate. Higher than wage rate. That is why capitalist can earn surplus. That is why capitalist can earn surplus. And this surplus will reinvested, and this is why capital accumulations is happened here. So this surplus will be reinvested, and surplus capital accumulation is there, and that is why number of employment will also increase. As because the marginal productivity of labor further increase due to the investment of surplus, this surplus profit in industrial sector. So this process will continue. Still this labor to capital, or you can say the capital formation take place, and this capital labor ratio, this process will continue till the capital labor ratio rises and the supply of labor become inelastic, and excess supply of labor will disappear in the economy. So what we just understand? That is, these wages, industrial wages is higher than subsistence level, and workers moved from subsistence sector to industrial sector, and they are due to the wage rate, here marginal productivity of labor in industrial sector is higher than the wage rate, and that is why there will be huge surplus profit of capitalist, and this surplus capital will be reinvested, and there will be the capital accumulations. Due to the capital accumulation in industrial sector, employment will again increase, and that is why marginal productivity curve, say this one marginal productivity curve, will shift towards rightward as P2 L2. And this process will continue till capital labor ratio rises and supply of labor become inelastic, and excess supply will disappear. Now in this figure we can say that when OW wage rate, at OW wage rate, at OW wage rate, marginal productivity of labor is P1 L1, as because ON number of laborers are employed. So total output produced is OP1 Q1 N1. This is the total output produced by employing ON1 number of employment. Out of this total output, wages are paid. How much wages are paid? Wages are paid OW, wages are paid OW, Q1 and N1. So the capitalists are getting some surplus here. What is the surplus amount? W, P1 and Q1, this surplus amount. So at OW wage, when one number of employments is there, so this amount of surplus is enjoyed by the capitalist. Next, this surplus will be reinvested. reinvested. This surplus profit or excess profit will be reinvested in industrial sector. That is, there will be the capital accumulations, and due to these capital accumulations, number of employment will also increase to ON2 level. At wage rate same, OW wage rate, because already we assume that wage rate will remain constant in industrial sector. Now at ON2W, what will be the surplus profit is enjoyed by capitalist? Here total output is again produced, OP2, total output is produced, OP2, at ON2 level of employment, OP2, Q2 and N2. And labors are paid at ON2 numbers of employed, how much? OWQ2 minus OWQ2 N2. So again here surplus profit, the large surplus profit is coming, the W P2 Q2. So now you see this surplus profit, which is again greater than the earlier surplus profit, is because more numbers of labors are employed. As more the surplus profit, more will be the capital accumulations, and hence more will be the employment here. So this process will continue till the labor capital ratio, till the capital and labor ratio rises, capital and labor ratio rises, and the supply of labor become inelastic, and this surplus labor will also become disappear. This is the simple model of a Lewis of economic model. Now we can discuss its applicability and its critics. What is the major critics level against this model? First, what are the critics we can understand here? The critics is there. So first thing, Lewis, one thing in industrial sector, obviously there will be the requirement of skilled labor. In industrial sector, there will be requirement of skilled labor. But Arthur Lewis argued that this problem of skilled labor is a quasi bottleneck. It is a temporary issue, temporary problem. It is a quasi bottleneck. It is a quasi bottleneck. Skilled labor, the problem of skilled labor is a quasi bottleneck. As because this problem can be solved by imparting training to the labor. So this problem can be solved by imparting training to laborers who are working in industrial sector. This is argument given by A. Lewis in respect of skilled labor. Second critics, we can say wage rate remain constant in industrial sector, but in reality this is not realistic assumptions, as because when wage, basically it is seen that in case of industrial sector, to a certain level, when demand for labor rises, its wages also rises. So that is why this wage rate cannot remain constant. This is another critics which can be leveled against A. Lewis model. Second, we can talk about its applicability. First, applicability. In case of Singapore, this model is to to a larger extent is applicable in context of the Singapore economy. But again, from empirical evidence, it is also showed that Egyptian economy, in context of Egyptian economy, this model was failed. Apart from this, Theodore study, one study was conducted in 1919. One study is conducted by Theodore in 1990 that Lewis model was completely failed in context of Indian economy. Now, in context of Indian economy, if we see to what extent this model is applicable. Interstate immigrations is occurring in India, in Indian context, and these immigrations, that is overall immigration increased in India post reforms. So what we see, the post reform periods, this overall immigration increase in India within different states of India. But post reform period, this immigration decreased. This immigration did not increase, because due to the industrial development and service sector development, this immigration was happened, and mostly this labor comes from subsistence sector to service sector as well as industrial sector. And basically this surplus labor comes from agriculture dominant states like UP, Bihar, MP, and they basically got their employment in advanced or developed states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, etc. This is how we can say the Lewis model to some extent is applicable in context of Indian economy, but mostly these immigrations or transforming labor from subsistence sector to industrial as well as service sectors basically happened post reform period. But pre-reform period, there are no such evidence of immigrations of labor from one sector to another sector. Okay, thank you.